Here for GENG, they will stay on blue side here. The Ivern ban, I think, is one that definitely should be considered here, considering that it was really their undoing against Top Esports in that first game. They're actually going to take away the Tristana as well. I mean, Cream got so big, it was almost no losing that game, but it was the oppressive vision control, the control ward buys, and the leapfrog forward of the Ivern brushes that really did them in. Senna taken away here, no surprise there. Still no Canyon Zyrus, still no Canyon Nidalee. The card this pick feels a lot weaker with that counter we've already seen from Top Esports. First pick Corki, likely still on the cards here, but it comes at a huge cost in that you won't have that final counter pick here on blue side. And they're actually going to pivot to the Ezreal pick. I like this quite a bit. Now, you banned the Tristana, you gave the Corki, so, you know, that's definitely going to be the lock-in here. Rumble is also available, and this is the power of red side, Valdez. Yeah, you got the Ezreal, but they get everything they want. Corki, Rumble. And yes, Ezreal, the strongest AD carry right now in this meta, but I feel the cost is just too high.
It is very high. I think individually, both Corki and Rumble are huge, and Top Esports saw this coming. They banned away the Lucian because they knew that, okay, they're not going to take Corki here. And so we get Corki, and they don't have Lucian, and they don't have Tristana. So this leaves Chovy kind of in an awkward spot where he is really going to have to dig deep for an AD carry mid, or he's not playing an AD carry mid. I mean, so I don't think he will in this game number 2.
He might just pull out the Azir, you know, a classic. It's been one of the big problems, you know, with these AD carryless comp or these mid laners that don't have engage, right? You're playing AD carry mid, so if you lose vision control, you lose prio. There is no super play, there is no shuffle, right? There is no big Orianna engaged, and when you fall behind on vision, when there is no engage in the mid lane, that could be a huge problem. Now, this Twisted Fate comes through. We've seen this more recently as a mid pick. It is definitely one that can be played. Showmaker played it in the LCK recently. I think it was played in the LPL as well. So consider this a big flex. See, Top Esports will be thinking about this as well. It can be quite tricky to play out if it is going to be, in fact, the mid pick. The Sejuani we talked a lot about last game is going to get locked in here, it looks like, for Top Esports. The Ashe is still available here, so I think that's one that GENG should definitely be looking at, considering how powerful it can be into the Ezreal lane and how well it can set up for both the Rumble ultimate and can follow up or set up the Sejuani Glacial Prison.
Yeah, I think it's definitely one of the first things they need to look at down on that bottom side. GENG, you know, it's kind of a flip of the last game where GENG highly prioritized their top side of the map, and then we had a lot of huge picks for Top Esports on the bottom side, the Ezreal Leona, that duo going into the hands of GENG, but Top Esports have a really, really strong top side of the map with the Sejuani, setting up for both Corki and the Rumble. We do see the Yone, another AD mid. It's not an AD carry in the traditional sense. Does get banned away, but it's a huge pick for Chovy, and they're not going to allow him to play that one.
The Kai'Sa is one of the strongest picks into the Ezreal individually in terms of her ability to 1v1 the Ezreal and duel him before the fight breaks out. So very strong in terms of controlling neutral as well. So that's a no-brainer here. The Yone ban, which is one of the most commonly picked champions into the Corki when Tristana is gone, does seem to indicate Top Esports thinks this is going to be a top Twisted Fate pick here. And the Jace coming out as well, another pick that can be quite strong in the mid lane as an AD. Won't be able to outrange the Corki with the Shock Blast. So not too shocking to see that one, no pun intended, but let's see what this final ban is going to be, because the Ashe really sticks out to me like a sore thumb in terms of how well it synergizes with this draft here for Top Esports. They take away the Draven instead. Similar ability to follow up on CC from the Sejuani, but the setup for the Ashe just feels so obvious here. Let's see if Top Esports will take the opportunity.
Yeah, they don't have to just yet, but they could lock it in and save their support for the final pick, as it will be the Ashe, as you mentioned. I think if you're not banning that, it's getting picked, and it does. So not too surprising at the end of the day that they do pick up the Ashe here. Now, what is the mid-jungle duo going to look like for GENG? As you mentioned, still flexibility with the TF, but seems like Top Esports not giving a lot of credit to that, and it will be the way that does come down here in mid.
I wouldn't have minded something like an Azir Xinjiao here for GENG because of the ability to set up for picks and threaten the Corki in mid lane, threaten the squishy Rumble. The way is going to be a similar idea. It will outrange the Corki, can so put some poke down. One of the only AP mids right now that can kind of win lane against Corki eventually, has great wave clear, but can be super problematic later on if you're not ahead and you don't have map control to actually be that engaged, because you have a big ultimate, you have big burst and follow-up to something like a Leona engage, but it's very tricky. Hovering the Varus for just a moment, teasing us that Ashe Varus lane.
Yeah.
Kalista as well, you know, saying...
It's a lot of strong double 80 carry comps that are available, but that's kind of like harkening back to an old meta. I actually feel like the Braum is insane value into this comp. Like, it's just ridiculous.
It's great into the Hui. It's great into the Ezreal, obviously.
Everything.
Yeah, and... I mean, you could have gone for the insane kill lane. You could have gone full Hail of Blades down there with the Varus. You know, throwback to what we saw a lot in the LCK a few seasons ago. Guma and Keria playing that pick quite a bit, but and when you consider how much engage there is, how much setup, I mean, the Braum ultimate is fantastic for the Rumble as well. You've got, you know, hot and cold you can lay on the ground. You have the Ashe arrow to set up the Sejuani. Sejuani sets up the Ashe arrow. You've got slows for the Ezreal lane to get a big advantage down there. Now, we have seen Ezreal Leona win this type of matchup. You know, the Ezreal has so much damage on his Q right now on this patch. And if he can land those Mystic shots, you know, you can end up winning the lane, but it is very risky. It's very dangerous into this Braum. And the Twisted Fate, I think, is going to have a large impact here on this early game. The first few ultimates are going to get a big lead here to GENG. In game one, we leaned a little bit towards GENG. We thought it was a little bit too finesse, the draft with Top Esports. They completely proved us wrong. The redemption pick for the Ivern was fantastic. Here in game two, it feels like they got everything they wanted, and it felt super obvious what their game plan was going to be, and yet GENG still confidently walked right into it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is one of those comps on the side of Top Esports that you just look at it and you say, were there any bans in the game? Like, how did they manage to get pretty much one of the best comps we have ever seen? Like, it's just really, really strong, insane coordination, some of the best picks in the current meta, and it is fantastic. Now, on the side of GENG, I do feel like if they get ahead, they win their lanes, right? Canyon, I feel like his role is going to be huge. He picks up the Lee Sin. He wants to have an early impact. He wants to get ahead in the jungle matchup, but be more proactive with it. He doesn't want to sit back on Karthus, get really fed, and then press R and then get countered by Redemption. He wants to make impacts on top and mid. He wants to get his lanes ahead. And if they can do that, the pick potential from this comp of GENG is also insane. It is S+ tier with, you know, TF Leona alone, but also just everything else to support.
Since MSI, this will only be the second time JackeyLove plays the Ashe pick, but it's a pick we've seen him play a lot in the past. Obviously, a player with a long story like he has, as mentioned on the desk earlier, you know, that pays a very young AD carry, quite storied early in his career, but JackeyLove a lot more experience, has a ton of experience on the Ashe across multiple different metas, playing with support Ashe alongside of him. I think is going to do a lot with this champion. And it might surprise people to hear that it's the first time Canyon's played Lee Sin since the summer season started as well. It's a pick that he has relied on a lot in the past. He's one of our best Lee Sins in the LCK, alongside Owner, longtime jungle rival. But yeah, definitely the bigger impact you were kind of alluding to here with this pick. Not going to sit back and farm, but we'll try to get his lanes ahead. As Top Esports, a little bit of invasion here at level 1, but not going to heavily commit or anything like that.
Yeah, looks like just a bit of juggling, just hanging around, and then eventually JackeyLove will place his ward down on the red buff. So they're going to know where Canyon does start. It won't be surprising that the Lee Sin does start on his red buff side of the jungle.
Look at Cream putting the pressure on as well instantly here. Jovi, his mana bar got ganked, you could say.
Oh boy.
With the 2 misses there. But Cream trying to push him out early here, trying to get some value out of that footwork. First proc of it, and we'll see how this mid lane matchup does go, because it's been a pick the way that a lot of our lower teams in the LCK, for example, have picked when they've made draft errors and have ended up, you know, having to face the Corki. It's very common. Well, Hens did have an opportunity to look for his Zenith Blade there, doesn't take it. But if played well, I think the Corki absolutely can control this matchup early. He hits level 2 first. And, you know, Chovy's just going to have to weather the storm until he gets a few levels under his belt. You know, his first buy will make it a lot more comfortable. Bit of a whiff.
That's all good. Level 2 still going to be hit here by Lehens and Pays. Definitely what you would expect, especially Pays and Lehens starting in the lane. You know, they want to get control of the lane immediately. Again, kind of playing into this idea in their composition, I think, where they want to try to win all the lanes if possible, especially bot and top. We were talking about that Wave versus Corki matchup. Can go a little bit either way. But, you know, probably just going to end up pretty even in this one as we take a look at all of the lanes at the same time.
See, Chovy hits level 3 and can start to both pressure cream and clear the wave at the same time, so starting to come back there. We talked about the Rumble pick being S tier. Now, one of the only matchups where Rumble isn't going to find himself at a huge lead early on is the range matchup into TF. Let's look at that poke coming through from Chovy meanwhile. But Geen, you know, managing the lead here pretty well so far into that Rumble. So that's one place where you go, okay, well, the Rumble pick is top tier, the highest tier top lane right now in this meta, but at the same time, as Chovy is aggressively trying, I'm a little scared for Cream, but at least he's getting the range matchup to deal with it is what I was going for there.
Lehens, he wants to get information on if Tien is here. Now that is going to look a little suspicious, right? Mako trying to scan for Tien, making his way down. And I believe, yeah, they're going to see him here. So the bottom lane here of GENG will stay safe, but it's double scan, and they deny all the vision from the potential Sejuani gank, just to, you know, show her face and try to make sure that that bottom lane Jackie Love and Mako can stay safe themselves.
Tier buy here for Cream off the first back and a refillable. We'll see the tier matched for Chovy as well. As you can see, the teleports being traded there, just showcasing the buys. As Chovy controlled that first few levels incredibly well, once he got level 3, really put the pressure onto Cream, denied him some farm. Only, you know, 2 or 3 CS were lost. But gotta say, you know, this is the kind of start you're looking for if you're gonna leave the Corki up. You have that AP answer. You're playing Lee Sin. Nice little scan there on this ward. Quiet early game, but Chovy continuing to put this pressure on. Now, the real interesting sticking point in this game is going to be that first ultimate from Keen, what he gets done with that, where he can make an impact on the map. Obviously, sacrificing teleport here to go for the exhaust into this composition is quite an expensive choice. So playing this matchup now passively as 369, has all of his abilities unlocked, can overheat fairly easily, wants to play respectfully. Tian up here on the top side, so a wise choice.
Yeah, Tian trying to coming in here. He's going to get that control ward down. They are looking to dive Keen, but Keen is full health, so especially with exhaust, I think it might be difficult, but let's see how this one does go. Gold card held, and the exhaust not going to be utilized. Just stuns the Rumble, but that is not going to be enough, and Tien just tanks it up perfectly. His first blood to 369.
And nothing really Keen can do. They're holding the exhaust for a really long time there. It's not going to be enough of a slow to actually prevent the take as Canyon's trying to go for the stop.
He's going to get in there, but he finds himself in a 1v2. He has to flash away, and he misses the Sonic Wave as a stun potentially to come through, but maybe on cooldown or out of range. And Tien and 369, just massive value in the 2v2 here.
Oh, insane. I mean, that was optimistic from Canyon to say the least. Doesn't have ult, of course, at level 5 and stopping the backs. If you could stutter them, you know, where one back is stopped and the other isn't, you win that 1v1, but 1v2, it is just not going to happen. Has to flash away. And disaster here for GENG in this early game. Find themselves 600-700 gold behind. Keen losing out a lot of control over the lane. Doesn't have teleport, of course, so has to walk back. Canyon will be able to at least secure this grub. Chovy is really crushing mid lane, so that's the place where the good news starts for GENG. Trying to stop that back onto Cream. Having so much prio so that Canyon can grab these grubs. These are really important wins for the side of GENG, but top esports unrelenting. And bottom side, obviously, we talked about how well Ashe can control this matchup, this 2v2 with the Braum. It's going swimmingly.
Yeah, definitely feeling pretty good down there at the moment. And Tien's gonna just start up the dragon himself, knowing that Canyon is nowhere in the vicinity. And they have the push on bottom, so should be the Hextech Dragon going the way of top esports. GENG get 3 Void Grubs. As now Canyon, no flash. He's going to get over the wall. 369 doesn't have flash himself, but Canyon in a very awkward spot.
Keen does have ult available here. Doesn't necessarily need it.
Let's go gold card, but Canyon is just dead. Yeah, there's just no way to get out of there. Just gets caught by 369, who's 2-0 on Rumble already.
And you knew that Tian was bottom side, so if you're Keen in this case, you've got to come over and make the assist happen faster. It's just the level 1 on his ultimate, but still, he had enough distance there to maybe come help out. As Canyon just burns, he's left to die in top esports. Again, the lead continues. Now, Chovy pushed Cream out a second time, did take his own back here, picked up his Sork shoes. He still has a lot of big prio, but because he backed, he's not here to help Canyon out. And it feels like a gross miscommunication between the Canyon and the solo lanes here, because obviously Chovy isn't here, but he still goes for this play. Keen does not commit to the ultimate, as meanwhile down here, I thought maybe something was going to go down. It's going to be okay, but not committing the ultimate as Keen there. No Chovy. It makes you wonder why Canyon was that far up, looking for the pick there. 369 with a big punish.
It's just one of those things where you say, okay, well, the enemy jungler, oh, this arrow is going to get the flash out of Chovy, who gives the thumbs up. Very nicely aimed from the side of Jackie Love. But yeah, it's one of those things, Canyon's like, oh, 10 can't be here, right? So I should be safe. And then all of a sudden, level 6 Rumble shows up, and he's like, huh, I guess I'm just dead. And, well, he is. And, you know, the TF picked into the Rumble to deal with the lane, to get ahead. We talked about this for the side of GENG, to try to win the lanes, to try to get ahead. It's only Chovy that's ahead because 369 and 10 got so many wins in the top side of the map, and they get an extra one, the cherry on top in their own jungle here on a Canyon.
Yeah. Canyon's flash is coming back, Keen as well, relatively soon here after that first debacle that did occur in the top side where 369 and Tian were able to get a huge lead there. But Tian's just hanging around the top side, knowing bottom side is under full control. And it's hard to make a play here, but Rumble has the equalizer back. Mako here as well on the roam. So awkward for Keen. Looks like he will finally be able to walk up here and take his farm, but the pressure is real. You could feel it. And even though Cream has been pushed in a lot, has found himself at a CS deficit, he's really been able to stay relatively even despite Chovy's advantages here. It's only 100 and, you know, some odd gold that Chovy is ahead, and he's not under any kill pressure, so he doesn't care.
Uh-oh, Chovy, no flash. He is just dead. Just gonna get Sejuani ulted to the face, and Lens, nowhere for him to go either. He's got a flash himself, but the damage comes through, and the phosphorus bomb picks up a double kill for Cream.
I mean, you know, it's been a few years since I've been the guy to call the games over early, but this one is looking pretty rough, Valdez. I mean, this is arguably one of GENG's weakest performances we've seen in the last 2 months, as the Valkyrie here pushing forward as they grab the stun onto Chovy. And then just concussive, gonna catch Lehens here. The phosphorus bomb is just enough. Huge cheer from the crowd here as another Tian nod to come through. My man's a nodder today, but I gotta say, this time well deserved. Great ultimate from him. No flashes, no summoners expended at a top esports for the play.
Yeah, it's just the value of this composition shown very early on. I mean,
speaking of,
you get one pick. Chovy's just dead again. I mean, there's nowhere for him to go. He doesn't have flash. Lehen's like, well, sorry, buddy, nothing I can do. I didn't block the arrow, and you're just dead. And that's the value of Ashe and Sejuani and Braum. And Cream right there started off in a rough situation, but now he's totally flying free, 2-0-1, getting super fed. And now on the top lane as well, 369 just burning down Keen. And, you know, I like what Ox was saying on the desk earlier on about top esports just showing an incredible performance in game number 1. I do agree. But here in game number 2, GENG are also not having a great one, as Lehen's trying to get the flank here on Jackie Love, but he's just going to pick up the kill, and maybe he does go down.
TP as well, like Jackie Love maybe saved here.
Yeah, I mean, the kicks should come out, as Jackie Love will be in a lot of trouble. Can they trade anything back? Yeah, Lehen's is going to go down. This is still a one-team fight for top esports, rather.
Yeah.
And they're just getting more and more value.
Now at least King can get some plates, because he hasn't got a teleport, Valdez. He doesn't have one of those. He's not going to be matching 369 coming over here. But he's not going to lose any farm, 369, because he could just take this one out as well. Picks up his 3rd kill of the game. He's got 6 Dark Seal stacks. And GENG just falling apart at the seams, looking for a really proactive play. But unfortunately, Pays going in on the Arcane Shift before Lehen shows up on his big wraparound. Huge error of judgment, completely punished. And yes, they will get the kick onto JackeyLove to secure the kill, but all it takes is a teleport from the already winning Rumble lane topside where no pressure, no gold card to stop him, no answer will come through. So yes, you end up getting the 1 kill back onto JackeyLove, which was your initial objective. But 369 picks up that 3rd kill. 2 kills went over to Cream on that last play mid. And we've got the money exactly where you want it. As Top Esports, this is a disastrous early game. Not one that isn't recoverable from, but the way that Top Esports played, how oppressive they were in game 1, GENG fans definitely feeling a little bit stressed.
Yeah, and you know, Top Esports, incredible first game. But now they're playing an incredible second game. They have so many tools to do it. JackeyLove, immediate cleanse. Very nice, Captain Jack himself. He's just going to get out of there. The poke is coming down, and Top Esports just weighing their options here. Now they're just going to throw everything into the Leona. They take him down, and that'll be huge. As yes, the Dragon does go the way of GENG 10. He's going to flash away. Cream has to do so as well. Finally, GENG do get something, but Top Esports, they didn't even have the Rumble. 369 is just getting huge amounts of farm in the top lane while all of this is happening.
Yeah,
and it's only a singular Chemtech Drake.
Yeah, it's only a singular Chemtech Drake, and I think the reason why GENG felt so confident to actually go for this play is they know the Rumble doesn't have TP since he TP'd to the bottom side play. But no indecision here for the side of Top Esports. Notice as well how close that Dragon was to actually going over to Top Esports. Down at 59 on the smite. If just one stray hit goes over and they actually steal that one away on top of the play there, it's even worse. Now, it is going to be Cloud Soul here for this second game of the series, and ends up being a soul that's relatively strong for both teams here. Obviously, always going to be really important when you have a top laner without teleport. The additional movement speed and the rift can really help you shore up that weakness of not being able to join team fights as quickly as your opposition. And we're looking at a situation here now where this next fight may be the game decider if GENG can't figure out how to set up for an angle. And Keen's ultimates, where have they been? We haven't seen any impact of this losing lane Twisted Fate into the Rumble. And it's all been because Tian put the pressure up there. Put the pressure up there.
Fortunately, that's the way it goes, right? You know, the TF falls behind, and then he's like, well, I'm just a 80 carry that's behind against a super fed Rumble. What do? I just sit back and try to farm and try to catch up, but he's not going to have an impact in this game for a very long time. And
if at all.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about how Top Esports, if they don't fall behind in lane, they just have the God comp, and well, it's the God comp. Just kind of sending it in. It's now Tian, okay. Bit of a mistake. He's going to get in there. He is incredibly tanky. And you know what? He doesn't give a damn at all, as he is going to live through all the damage of the 3 members of GENG. And he survives with 14 health, as he does get over the wall as well. I thought maybe he was going to die at the very end, as Cream in a very rough spot does get shut down by Pays, but man, Top Esports are really clapping him now.
I mean, Pays getting the shutdown is pretty huge, but at the end of the day, I feel like we might be watching the beginning of GENG starting to realize those keys might be crushed, because I mean, you look at these plays here. GENG grouped up as 3, Tian on a control ward, but he has Aftershock. He can absorb so much damage here, and even with the ultimate coming through from Chovy, the arrow buys so much space. Cream with a follow-up over the wall with the Valkyrie. They have just enough damage. JackeyLove not even needed, but he was there just in case. Yes, they get that trade back kill.
Oh boy.
But look at the damage.
And again, 369 wasn't even there. He was just hanging out in bot lane. He's like, I'm just getting fed, guys. I have enough kills. You guys can maybe get some kills. As now, very nice stun here on a JackeyLove, but the Braum trying desperately to hold the door. As the gold card does come down, Mako in a bit of trouble himself, has to flash away. And finally, GENG do get 1 pick, but again, still very far behind, looking for a bit more, trying to get this mid-outer turret as Top Esports are pushing bot.
Bottom inner here going to go down. Meanwhile, they can't get the mid turret off of the pick. At least they're able to get the pick itself, but small victory here for GENG. But this is the type of proactivity that we're going to need to see from GENG from behind here. Even if you trade down, you've got to try something in this game. If you just sit back and let this composition of Top Esports scale and wait for objective spawns, it's never going to be a winning strategy. When you have Leona, when you have the gold card, when you have this Lee Sin, Gonna have to try to fish for something. A moment of, you know, overextension here from Jackie Love. Doesn't get hit by the Zenith play, but will, of course, be hit by the Solar Flare. Mako doing his best here. They even commit the teleport, so that's a big win for GENG. But look at how many members of GENG it takes to set up this pick. Like you said, it feels like every fight that they trade, Top Esports like, oh, well, somebody else is getting a turret, though. Or, oh, it's free farm in the bottom lane, and GENG have to expend more. So we look for a group up here on the top side of the map. Baron hasn't spawned yet. I know we're still sitting at a huge amount of gold here for Top Esports, but we're not having that discussion for a few more minutes.
You can tell they're like, huh, maybe we can do the Baron. Wait, it's not here. And, you know, Cloud Soul is actually going to be excellent for their composition, just finding more and more clean engages. Denying movement speed from the side of GENG as well is going to be extremely important, as it does look like Mako is going to drive this straight into the turret. India's Braum should be totally fine here. And Tian over the wall, looking for an angle. Lehens only level 7, and again, they're gonna get on top of Lehens, but they do dive under the turret, but it does not matter. The damage does not get traded by GENG, as that is just going to be a dead Leona once again.
I mean, it's Ashe, Sejuani, Rumble. The 3 top tier picks they got that GENG gave, and it's just one after the other. Stun, stun, burn. Down they go, down goes the turret. And Top Esports, I mean, you have this much map control, you can just sit on Raptors. We've seen so many Sejuani's to this. Canyon's done it a million times. You can see Leona, you know, Lehens' positioning there, perfect for what could occur. You know, he's aware of the fact that Tien could be there. They don't have vision. But blocking him from entering is alone not enough. Just too much setup here. As you can see, this is the vision of GENG. And Lehens, yeah, he's in position to prevent the carries from getting caught, but he's gonna get caught. He's gonna get burned down. Canyon's super low. And that's a kill, that's a turret over the side of Top Esports. And as Baron gets closer and closer to the spawn, we're talking about a Rumble nearly on 2 items here. McCourtney, that's been on 2 for a while, has the luxury to buy a QSS for extra safety. They may very well just do Baron on spawn.
I mean, they can absolutely threaten it, if nothing else, right? Because their turn is S+ tier. Again, the God Club, they just sit on it. They have multiple tanks, and they have so many ways to throw in CC, to find picks from ahead without much vision for the side of GENG. So Top Esports definitely considering it, as they will hold around this area.
Yeah, I mean, with Dragon taken already, there's nothing to fight for bottom side. 369 has teleport advantage. Keen has to be on the top side of the map here near this Baron. He can continue to push and join as that teleport comes back online here. Really well timed with this Baron spawning in 30 seconds. They're putting deep vision up. They have Ashe Arrow as well for some additional vision. There's no great angle of approach here for the side of GENG. Keen flanking could end up being a liability more than a setup here, as it's not impossible for GENG to win this, but I think it's going to take a big error from Top Esports, or an angle that right now I just can't see. They've got some vision in their own jungle now. They cleared some of that vision that Top Esports was setting up. And it looks like on spawn, we're not going to see it, but Lehens, he's got to check. You know, he's got to come over here and set up multiple wards, because the threat is real with the teleport disadvantage. I mean, Keen's back bottom side cannot join a Baron take. 369 has push control here. He's winning the side, obviously, and can join at a moment's notice, and now the group up begins.
Yeah. What I would say is, for the side of GENG, I feel like their one angle is you still have to find picks and just hope you've got enough damage with Chovy and Pays. If that doesn't work, you don't really have much of an angle. And that also relies on Top Esports making a big mistake, making a big error. As you see, Canyon, somebody's got to check it. Somebody has to get in, as now this time the Leona pretty tanky, but the equalizer up top. Mako is super low, as 369 still looking for a bit more. Pays is going to be isolated on the right side of this fight, but they do back away. GENG holding on for dear life in this game.
Yeah, the equalizer in terms of his positioning looked good initially, but because GENG could just back out, they did so much damage, they can't follow up. So GENG actually handling that about as well as they could have. Lehens absorbing so much of that damage after the initial engage came through. And now they absolutely can contest this Baron here. Top sending 369 back to the bottom lane. He doesn't have that equalizer anymore. He's going to use that teleport advantage to continue to put pressure around the Baron. Mako is able to get back, regen, come back into this fight. Doesn't quite have Warmogs just yet, but is full health now. And the rotational battle continues, where it's just vision fights after vision fights. but no answer for that Rumble. It's just pushing wave after wave into the bottom turret. Now off of vision, GENG have to be so respectful.
You see they are being very respectful. Keen, he's like, oh crap, I easily could have just died there, but he is able to get away without a scratch. And Top Esports, once again, it's just back to clearing vision, taking control over the Baron pit, and you know what? Maybe it's just killing Lahenza along the way. Might just be able to do that under the turret as Lahenza is alone. He's just going to be taken out. Nobody on the side of GENG can help him.
They're spread too thin. Chovy has to go bottom to deal with the waves down there. They're missing so much farm. If he's not there, he's the one who's got TP. That True Shot Barrage is a nice boon here for GENG. Some extra damage launched in, but no vision.
Oh boy, yeah, they just don't have vision. Somebody has to face check. Canyon is barely going to live. A lot of damage coming out from Chovy and from Chovy as everybody's low here on the side of Top Esports. Another equalizer is going to hit that back line, and now Cream just flashes forward, looking to get it. And you know what? I think the wallets are just way too large here on the side of Top Esports as Cream. Jeez, man, he almost went down as well. As the snipe is going to come in, Chovy takes out Cream.
Snap of his fingers. I mean, Chovy could not have played that fight better. I don't think GENG could have played that fight better if they tried, if they were tool assisted, because that was so clean from them. But like you said, you took the words out of my mouth, Valdez. Wallets are heavy. The advantages that Top Esports hold are just too much. Chovy did so much damage, layered through the choke, massive ultimate, but it's not enough to win the fight. But what they will win is a deny of the Baron take. Top Esports will have to back away, will have to reset and head back over. Kane still teleportless on the bottom side. Canyon is down there. They feel like they've got a little bit of reprieve here. Rapid fire cannon is done for Keen. As you see this engaged here, we're going back to this moment. Look at how much damage Chovy layers into this team fight. It's absolutely insane. Pays going forward here, trying to get the kill on the TN. Look at the low health bars here of Top Esports. GENG, they used everything that Chovy had, but it wasn't enough. Cream just narrowly thought he escaped, but the snipe comes through from Chovy. Top Esports turn their focus now to Cloud Soul Point on the bottom side of the map, and GENG just not in a position to trade for Baron. They don't have vision control of the Baron pit.
Yeah, they're just way too far behind to even consider that. And, you know, I think that we saw a showcasing of what Ezreal and Hwei can do if you run in a straight line at them in a small corridor in their jungle, right? I think that Top Esports are doing a good job denying vision, but they're also playing directly into all of this AoE damage. They have enough money, so it's working out as this arrow, ooh, nice dodge from Chovy, but he might still go down as Mako's got this angle here. Let's see if he can land this ult. No, Chovy's still in a lot of trouble, and he will be going down here. Chovy a little bit too greedy up there in the top lane, and immediately he will be punished for it.
That was on life Chovy moment there. Just so much greed. You've got to farm. You've got to get out there on the map. But unfortunately, can't dodge everything. As Pay's looking for a pick.
Yeah, he's trying to do something, but the arcane shift forward as now Lahen's trying to peel for him. The cleanse comes through. The True Shot Barrage, though, is going to hit the door as immediately we are going to lose one of our members here. Keen? Looks like Lahen's will go down. Keen is split pushing in mid somehow as all of this is happening. Now he's going to be chased away by the Rumble. And
Canyon looking for a steal.
Yeah, he does have access to this pit, funnily enough, as Top Esports. Not a lot of health here, but still just tanking this one down. Canyon is going to be pushed away as he is desperate to try to get into the pit, but immediately he does get taken down. That is a Baron on 5 members of Top Esports.
Keen trying to get some of that bounty gold off of this inner. He's so close to it too. Ranged minions left. I think he will get it. Meanwhile, Pay's in trouble over here. Will actually be able to put the pressure on, try to stop some recalls, but he's in danger.
Pay's is just, he is desperate to do anything in this game, and you see GENG playing kind of guerrilla warfare here. They're trying desperately to find whatever picks they can, but it is just not working.
I mean, this game,
Top Esports get more.
This game feels so doomed, but I gotta say, GENG doing the best they can with one hand tied behind their back.
Now, well, Chovy's dead again. Not much he can do about this as the ult is going to hit them in the face, and Mako doesn't really care. And that is another kill here for 369, who is 5-0-0. Very clean scoreline for him.
Man, almost looks like Canyon, the color is out of his face on this one. Such a close attempt there on the steal. Flashless, mind you, on this Lee Sin, a Braum in his face. But he's not able to make it happen. I mean, the kill score is 4-20 at 26 minutes. I mean, they are practically getting Harlem globetrotted here by Top Esports, but in the last few moments, they've given it their best effort, got some bounty gold, denied the Baron twice, but ultimately it's still Top Esports. Is Canyon in sec?
Canyon, he's gonna find Jackie Love. That is a massive pickoff here as the push was coming in, and they're kind of lulled into a false sense of security. Canyon's just gonna take down Jackie Love just like that, but he will be taken down himself, I think, although he will flash away, and they only get the inhibitor turret.
And not a true insect, the ward hop to go for it. Still has his flash, gets out of dodge there, is able to absorb. As a result, the equalizer there for 369, one of the best tools at, really ending the game in these types of moments. They're unable to get the inhibitor thanks to Canyon's heroic play. I mean, this could be one of the biggest comebacks in the history of international events for GENG if they can bring this one back. It doesn't seem likely, to be frank with all of you at home watching and those of you in the arena. But man, they have made this game where they're so far behind look so close with some of these clutch plays. And I think, as you mentioned, Top Esports, a little bit of false sense of security here in these moments. And GENG, they are not going to go quietly into that good night. They are not ready to see their key crushed just yet here at EWC. The massive tournament favorites for this tournament. A close one in game one. Game two, extremely one-sided until these last few moments as Chovy is stunned.
369 just ran by the guy that was backing, and now it looks like Chovy should be able to TP out of this one. So kind of unfortunate for 369, a little bit baited by the recall, but yeah, it almost feels like Top Esports are just like, yeah, we won this game. And you know what? They almost definitely will, but perhaps just Jackie Love things getting caught out there a bit by Canyon.
You can see what GENG's composition can do. We talked about it. You really pointed it out very well in that last fight where Chovy did massive amounts of damage. Fighting in choke points, big no-no for Top Esports even this far ahead. The chain CC that can come through here, where you hit with the gold card, you have the kick from Canyon, you have Liliona. The pick potential is definitely there. They have a huge amount of damage. Even the burst. With Ezreal, you don't normally think of him as a burst champion, but on this patch, on 3 items, he kind of is. If you catch anybody, he will just blow them up. Same with the Hui. A lot of burst damage, a lot of AoE. GENG holding on by a thread here as the soul is up for grabs for Top Esports.
Yeah, I think all that Top has to do is just fight a regular 5v5, and they will win the game. They just got to set up very nicely here, just get some vision down into this banana brush and wait for the nice angle to engage. As now the arrow comes out, this is everything into Lahen's, but their wallets are just so huge. And GENG, they just leave him to die as Lahen's still alive though, is going to survive in this one as now the Sejuani ult comes out. That's not going to have any follow-up either as now Pays over the wall, the arcane shift, as he is doing a ton into Tien, but eventually he should be punished. He is so low on health as Pays is desperate to do whatever he can in this team fight.
Yeah, trying to get his True Shot Barrage back, queuing this Dragon, doing anything he can. I mean, the health bars of Top Esports pretty low. Chovy running out of mana very quickly here, but this is looking good for GENG.
It is kind of insane. This should be going the way of Top Esports, and in fact, they will get the Cloud Soul, and Lahen's is once again tanking everything
so low.
They are very low as Pays once again trying to just E forward, trying to find whatever he can as the push is coming down in the bottom lane.
True Shot.
Top Esports will get the objective.
True Shot's back. Can he catch anybody? Oh, the angle. Ooh. Not good enough. Nearly takes Cream's head off, but it's not enough. This is insane, though, to see Top Esports struggling this hard at the big damage. Chovy opted into the Leandri's third, and when you consider how slow the team fighting has been here, low range Ashe, low range Corki here, and Rumble kind of binary in that if his equalizer doesn't get that pick, you don't win that fight necessarily right away. And how many times do we see Canyon put big shields off in that fight, being a secondary support here, keeping his team alive so Lahen's can heal back up as Top Esports using this Cloud Rift to look for a pick.
So fast. They're just sprinting at Lahen's, and maybe finally they will kill this darn Leona as they finally catch Lahen's by himself in his own jungle.
The 8th time he dies in this game. It felt like the last time.
The reverse legendary wolf, it returns. And, Top Esports, I couldn't believe that they haven't already won this game. But maybe now they will put an end to this one. They don't even have the Baron buff. 20 minutes, or rather 20 seconds, until the Baron will spawn. The Top Esports are looking for 2 inhibitors before they go for that objective.
Yeah, I think they should be able to get it here. Jackie Love firing away. Chovy has to deal with these cannon minions. They have to defend their Nexus turrets. Gen.G do not have Cloud Soul. Will have to rush as fast as they can over while clearing this mid-wave to the Baron to try to contest. Canyon this time has Flash to look for a potential steal, but I think more than a steal, they need a team fight win here. Top Esports, vision control, as you can see, totally blind right now. Are Gen.G a trinket to spot the Baron? Here we go.
And the ult is going to be thrown into that backline. The equalizer is huge value, but Lahen's once again taking everything up. He will eventually fall. Cream is unstoppable. The True Shot Barrage hits nobody.
Chovy is doing insane damage every single time. He gets a rotation of spells off. Now they're starting up this Baron.
Well, the arrow is going to sail wide, and once again, Top Esports, their turn is legendary as they're looking for any opportunity. Anybody on the side of Gen.G.
Remember, too, Gen.G have those super minions barreling down. They're on a timer here.
They're just going to run at them. The flash comes forward, and I think Top Esports finally get the fight as Pays will go down. Chovy doesn't have any hope, any mana to do much as they only get Pays, but now they are looking to push right down the middle lane.
And they certainly should be able to end off of this. Or certainly end off of the Baron that they will now take and then walk down the mid lane as Jackie Love will also secure this scuttle. Gen.G, Chovy, their main damage dealer in this one, unable to be anywhere near that pit. He's got great wave clear, and they will be able to manage the top lane. But you can see 369 is already prepping the mid wave. He hits level 18. He has a Majia's Soul Stealer built, Banshee's Veil. The man is safe against anything, and he's got a TP to come straight down mid if he'd like to. And protect a minion with it if he likes. Elder, 2.5 minutes away, so even if by some miracle Gen.G can wave clear this and defend, there is just no chance they're going to be able to get to the Elder first, as Pays trying his best to do damage here, but a bit too far forward. Great choice by Top Esports. They have the movement speed advantage here, and Gen.G can't back out of the Baron. They lose the Baron, they lose the game, and with the super minions, they kind of had to kite away. Now Top Esports setting up these waves. Let's see how miraculous this defense for Gen.G could be, because it's been a miracle they're still in this game in the first place.
It definitely is. You know what it feels like is that they've realized that they've messed up. They have found out. And they're like, wow, Top Esports a great team. They're trying so hard to come back in this game, but it's a little bit too much. The wallets are just massively heavy as Top Esports are pushing right through the front door, right down in the bottom lane. And that is going to be the third inhibitor going down. As once again here with 2 minutes of Baron buff, they will be looking to end this game.
Clearing the wave as quickly as they can. 369, 2 super minions coming over. Buying a ton of time as Chovy's wave clear. That Leandre's damage ticking through, but there's just too much Top Esports here.
Yeah, there's just way too many members. The Baron buff pushing through the bottom lane. They have a full wave coming through as Gen.G desperate to try to clear the wave. And they're waiting on that one last Nexus turret to try to take this game down, but it is not looking very good.
Hands is back up.
Esports.
One Hail Mary.
They're not leaving. So I think eventually they will take down this Nexus turret, but a lot of respect being shown from
back.
Top Esports. That's the arrow. They find Canyon, and eventually this front door will come down. Top Esports, they will throw the narrative out the window, and they say, we are the better team tonight, and we will take the 2-0 over Gen.G.
A brick in the golden road of Gen.G. Top Esports with a dominant 2-0 win. Draft error by Gen.G in that second game, giving Top Esports all the S-tier champions that this patch and the previous patch had to offer. They gave them a damn good showing in the defense, 10,000 gold behind. They would not relent, they would not give up. Nothing is given, everything is earned, Valdez. That's the theme of this tournament. Top Esports certainly did earn the end of that game.
Oh yeah.
Cautious, safe, slow. Gen.G with some really nice plays to try to bring themselves back into it, but it felt like it was 1 step forward, 3 steps back each and every way. The Rumble, Sejuani, Ashe, these 3 picks they gave over were the picks that write the tombstone of the key of Gen.G find itself crushed later on this evening. It's hard to call this one an upset because going into this tournament, we weren't sure entirely how these two teams would match up on form, but the LPL has shown up in such a big way. Even though we saw BLG lose to T1 yesterday, it was super close series, very resilient. Top Esports, though, the dominant winners of the first one of the day today.
They get this massive 2-0 upset over GENG. We're going to throw it down to the stage with Jeannie for the interview. Take it away.
Jeannie here, joined with Krem for Top Esports after a dominant victory up against GENG. Congratulations. I would like to say, how does it feel to have a victory over GENG? This is their first loss since MSI, and you were the ones who delivered it.
首先恭喜你们赢得了这场比赛，是非常统治级的一个表现。那想问你们一下，自从 MSI 之后，你们第一次交手，然后你觉得是现在是什么感受呢？
感受就是他们还是很厉害，我们赢他们确实很不容易。现在
I think they're very strong. They remain their condition since MSI, and I think it's very hard for us to actually win it over. But yeah, they're always that strong.
They were very strong indeed, and they put up a great competition. But as this competition goes, every single team has a key as well. And because of the victory, you will be handed over the key from the team captain of GENG, and that is going to be Lehens. Can we please welcome Lehens to the stage? That is now yours to keep, as you have rightfully earned so. I would like to also start talking about this game particularly. Coming into this game, your coach, Maokai, particularly said that it was going to be very aggressive in the mid lane and the top lane. How did you as a team get that confidence to come up here on the stage, your first game, and just hit it swinging?
在赛前采访的时候，你们的教练茂凯其实有提到，你们想要战术就是在上路和中路打得比较激进一点。然后你觉得在游戏里面你们是怎么样执行的呢？
游戏里面就是按照教练选的阵容，然后在选之前会告诉我们这把需要怎么赢下来。
I think it's according to our draft. Our coach would just tell us how to acting our unique strategies, and we'll just perform it really well.
The draft seems to be a very big talking point for every team that is here in the competition. There is no lower bracket, you snooze, you lose, and you will have to give up your key. When it comes to this type of format, what has it been like for Top Esports preparing for it coming into it?
因为此次 EWC 我们采用的是单败赛制，如果就是输掉一场，可能就要回家了。那你觉得在这种赛制下，TES 是怎么应对的呢？
就放轻松打吧，就不要有压力。我们教练让我们。
We would just want to stretch out all the pressure and just let it go, follow the wind, right?
You guys did exactly that. There are a lot of fans as well here supporting you today. Is there anything that you would like to direct at your fans here at home as well, but also those in the stadium?
在现场来了很多你的粉丝，当然了，还有在电视机前的很多你们在家里面的粉丝，你想跟他们说些什么呢？
谢谢大家的支持。
Just thank you all for your support.
Give it up one more time for Top Esports! Thank you guys so much. 谢谢。谢谢。And guys, we'll be on a break and we'll be back shortly.